It's great to see you back. I got to say, I've missed you. Don't know where you've been, but the reality is, on a Sunday we can't do too much with Q&A. I'm sorry. What is going on with pound and euro? Look, that's going to be a thing for tomorrow in the show, Helen. I can't go through all of that now. I'm sorry. This is a 5-minute segment for each presenter, and unfortunately today, and somebody asked the question, where are all the presenters? All the presenters are in IFP. They're sharing their skills and knowledge in IFP at the moment. So that's why we are having an extended conversation with our two experts, Julian and Shukri today. And look, I'm sure that's been of interest to some of you, certainly to me. Look, I'm completely confused in this space, I've got to say. And for now, I'm really happy that we've got people who actually know what they're talking about, because I've got nothing, absolutely nothing in this space. I've got no idea what screen I'm sharing at the moment. Let me try that again. That should be the one I want to share. And the reason I want to share that is because it is the first of, I've got no idea why I've got a signal up there. I shouldn't. That's an oldie. I think it is anyway. My 2 cents worth for this week begins with pound CAD. And the reason it begins with pound CAD is very much, and I'm on a very similar theme this week, it's bloody confusing as to which direction to take. And I really had a directional malfunction last week. I just couldn't get with the direction of the market until on Wednesday. Oh God, if you saw what happened on Wednesday with some incredible bars that told us a big story, it was just amazing. You have to be in Trading Buddy show on to understand what I'm talking about. Here's the thing. I'm looking for, as always, a directional bias, and it comes from the weekly charts. And the weekly charts tell me that there is going to be a direction or not. And here's where I'm completely confused this week. Pound CAD's telling me that last week we had, the previous week we had this incredible decisive selling bar. And throughout last week, we had a fairly decent response to that. The question mark that I've got around this is, where's the bigger picture? And the bigger picture is probably at the moment telling me a double top here, looking for a lower high, and really haven't seen that. Or have I? Is this the lower high that I'm looking for? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But due to the insurance bar situation that I trade all the time, I'm starting to think maybe this is a short about to happen. And we tried that last week on pound CAD. We got a TP1 barely before it took back off. So that was a break-even trade. You see this little double number sitting here, which ostensibly is a tweezer top, but a tweezer top's got to be sitting in the right place. And I know those of you who don't like to trade candles will think I'm talking gobbledygook anyway, but this was a clear key reversal bar, this one here, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. And pretty much we're still inside that bar as far as opens and closes are concerned. Certainly we've had a pierce below and a pierce above, but seriously, can I look to trade this at the moment? Look, it's difficult, I've got to say, but still I see this double top. Still I'm searching for that lower high, and I really just can't convince myself that we've got it at the moment. Maybe we have, maybe we haven't. I think I prefer to trade this as a range at the moment, and you can see where that range is. I'll put it in for you if you like. It looks far more enticing from that point of view than it does from any other for mine at the moment. Let's look to trade the range, and if we want to trade it short, let's trade it short from up here from a resistance area, and that may well be the monthly pivot. So all of that considered, I'm now back in the bulls arena, if you like, and I'm looking for a pullback here on that daily chart. If we came back to, well, the weekly pivot's going to move, it's going to move up to here somewhere. If we got a nice little pullback to that, then I'd probably be willing to trade that back up to the monthly pivot. That's kind of where I'm at. But bigger picture, I can totally see that we're going to come down to this bigger part of the range and test these lows down here. So that's where I'm at on pound CAD. Euro Aussie is the next one. Again, completely confusing from my point of view in terms of directional bias, but I see a few things here that give us a bit of a hint. I see the big double bottom. I see potentially this is the higher low that we're looking for. But again, I've got this confusing signal that tells me, okay, we've retested this level here. We've pulled back off it aggressively. We've even got below the monthly pivot and we've broken this trend line and retested that trend line. That to me is really interesting, but it's also conflicting because if I look at the weekly chart, for instance, I still see this massive bounce, and you can go to the monthly if you like to even make it more expressive. This big monthly bounce, rejection off this trend line, which is substantial and major. And I see this going back here at some stage, or certainly towards that area. So can I reconcile that from a fundamental point of view? And I know I'm not a fundamental trader, but can I actually think logically and say the euro should be outpacing the Aussie long term? And I just can't, because of, I suppose, COVID in many ways. It's telling me that the Aussie is going to have a far easier and better path to recovery than is the euro. So this becomes very, very conflictive, as I said before. And for this reason, I've got to think micro rather than macro. And the micro picture is telling me we've got another low coming up because we've had a break of this trend line. We've had a retest of this trend line. And we've got what I call a double cross on the monthly pivot. So I think I'm short to get long here at some stage. But where that long goes, I don't know, because of that fundamental expression that I've just given you. Why on earth would the euro outpace the Aussie to this level? I've got no idea. But one thing I do know is anything can happen at any time. And at the moment, I've got to think that we're going down to here. Maybe, I don't even know if we're going to test this level again, but maybe we retest that low there and go on with the job. So I'm short this week, Euro Aussie. Euro Swissy. Now, completely different story here in terms of long-term bias or fundamental bias, but this is clear to me that this is a potential false break of this resistance level. And you can see that we've snuck back under here, under that resistance area, and we've retested it and rejected it. If I go a little bit tighter, you can see that rejection bar there. It's also showing me a little bit of a double top. And again, when I see that, I'm looking for a lower high, which I don't see on that weekly chart, but I perhaps do see it on the daily chart. I can see a clear double top here. I can see the break of what you could describe as a neckline, and I see the retest of that. I see the rejection of the monthly pivot. I see a terrible bar on the daily chart, which is a spinning top sitting there, if you want to name it. But I think this is going short, and I've just got to find a way in. I don't see that on the daily chart, but I do see it on the weekly chart. I'd be happy to put an entry below that bar there and put my stop loss above it. You're going to want a decent reward out of that, obviously, because you're taking a fairly strong and big candle. If I look at the real big picture, I see this level here, and I also see this level, and we've snuck back underneath it and retested it, and that's the key to me, that level there. And I think we're due for a little bit more on the downside. Last one I'm going to look at, I won't keep you here all night. It's very, very similar. It's Aussie Swissy. And pardon me, on the monthly chart, you can see that we've had a substantial rally back to this point here. Now, where that level is a bit of a cloud of a price, obviously. And I actually look forward to the day where we eliminate the 1st of January 2015 and get rid of this bloody big candle, which of course was and Shukri spoke about this earlier, and we were talking about margin calls. If you were trading the euro versus the Swissy, or pretty much anything versus the Swissy on that day, you will know exactly what a margin call is all about. And so do many people who no longer have a house, and all of those sorts of wonderful things. But I see this as a bounce point short on the bigger time frame. I see a rollover here, a breakdown, and a retest of that level. And if you want to drill that down just a little bit further, you've got a double top sitting here. You've got a break, in my opinion, of what would have been the breakout level. And we're now had a perfect retest of that level. The issue is going to be the pivots. And if you want to trade that on a daily basis, obviously the weekly pivot is going to move up, given last week's mini rally, I'll call it that. So that's going to move up to here somewhere. I wouldn't be too concerned about that unless price got above that trade line. And even if it did, I'd still be looking for maybe a roll off that top at some stage on this pair Aussie Swissy. And I don't know why. I don't know why the Swissy will outpace the Aussie from a fundamental viewpoint. I really have no idea. But from a technical viewpoint, this has been on a bit of a rant for quite some time, and I think it's due for a bit of a retrace. Maybe that level, if you're looking to find an exit point on this, looks pretty clear to me that it's going to be around about that 68.75 level, something like that. I think this is worthy of your attention during the week, and it may even be worthy of attention right now on the weekly chart, putting an entry there if you want to take that bigger risk. But I think there'll be probably a better opportunity. Maybe Monday, Tuesday, we'll look to trade that short. That's going to be Aussie Swissy. That's all we got, guys, for the week. It was a little bit of an extended show, somewhat amazingly, but there is some topical stuff around about the place, and I really do thank Julian for his time today, as I do Shukri. Big space at the moment, that crypto area, and way beyond me. But if you're interested in it, then I would suggest you zoom into what Shukri's got to say on that. And I'm really glad that we've got him on board. Guys, that's it for today and the week as far as Sunday Market Review is concerned. Thank you for your company, and it'll be back the same time next week when all of our specialist traders, I'm sure, will be back on board. My apologies for their absence today, but they're very, 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 very busy people. Have a great rest of the weekend, and we look forward to catching you on Trading Buddies tomorrow. If not, then we'll see you one time during the week. Have a good one. Bye-bye for now.